Contraception is an important part of lovemaking to help avoid unwanted pregnancies or STIs. There are many forms of contraception available, the most common being condoms and birth control. Hormonal birth control options like oral birth control and IUDs work by preventing eggs from being available for sperm. Oral birth control prevents eggs from being released during ovulation each month, while IUDs release copper into the cervix, which make the cervical fluid thicker, and also making it harder for the sperm to reach the egg. There is another type of hormonal birth control known as Plan B, which is consumed within 72 hours of accidental impregnation, causing a heavy period that removes the fertile egg. Condoms work as barrier to block sperm from the cervix, and there are male and female varieties. Another common but less effective method is coitus interruptus, commonly known as the pull-out method, which is the practice of removing oneself from the other sexual partner before ejaculation. This method is ineffective as the penis having ability to adequately pull out in time is not 100% reliable for a multitude of reasons, as well as pre-ejaculate, a fluid that comes out of the penis that may contain live sperm cells and therefore impregnate a female. The pull-out method may be cost-effective if done right, but the cost of Plan B, an abortion, or having a child outweighs the appeal of cutting corners, assuming you don't want a pregnancy. Generally speaking, the cost of contraception depends on how often one has sexual experiences. Condoms are a cheap and effective way of preventing pregnancies and blocking STIs, but they do just that. Oral birth control is more or less cost effective than condoms based on frequency of sex. But not only is it a contraceptive, there are some reported side effects that may be favourable, like a decrease in acne. With that said, contraceptive birth control also has some adverse side effects, like nausea or sudden changes in mood, as, after all, they do affect one's hormones. It also doesn't protect from STIs, nor does any contraceptive that isn't a physical barrier. Contraceptives should be chosen with one's situation taken into consideration. If someone is in a relationship with someone they know doesn't have any STIs, and they know they don't either, a form of contraception that blocks STIs is not required. But if someone is having sexual relations with someone who has STIs, or is unsure if they have STIs, a condom is required. There are several phrases that people use to memorize using a condom, such as the famous "don't be silly, wrap your willy." These phrases use comical or sometimes even vulgar language that stands out to the reader more than a simple reminder. As condoms are generally regarded as the most effective contraceptive other than abstinence, it is important one knows how to put them on. To preface this, condoms are only compatible with water-based lubricants, as oil-based and silicone-based lubricants can break down the condom. First, check the expiration date, as this affects the condom's durability. Also check for punctures and tears. Do not use a used condom. Open packaging. Make sure the condom is facing the right way, so it rolls on properly. Then roll it on. If the male has a foreskin, he will need to roll it back at this point. If he rolls the condom on the wrong way, he needs to use a second condom and roll it on the right way. It is now ready for use. Once it's used, tie it off and make sure unwanted semen cannot escape, and dispose of it in the trash, not the toilet. If engaging in another sexual act that requires a condom, do not use a previously used one. There are surgical procedures that can permanently render one infertile, such as vasectomies or tubal sterilization for men and women respectively. These are large decisions that will impact the recipient for the rest of their life, and as such should be thought about heavily before taken. In conclusion, contraception like condoms or oral birth control are modern luxuries that allow for sex to be had without pregnancy, and in some cases, STIs. We should be very thankful of them and use them whenever necessary to stay safe.